So when you want to symbolize statement logically, a statement could either be simple or compound. A simple statement states a fact, while a compound statement states facts. Then away from that, you have something called conjunction. A conjunction is a compound statement formed by joining two or more simple statements using by and or. Using by and or. So when you now look at that one, you will now discover how can you symbolize statement logically. You can do that by using the truth condition of a conjunction. A condition is true if and only if all the components are true and otherwise false. A condition is true, so a conjunction is true if and only if all the components are true and otherwise false. So under the conjunction table, we need to be attentive here and apply the logical sentence here. Now you have, by the left you have P. Under the P you have T. Each of the letters here, T represent true, while F represent false. So you are now joining P with Q, meaning that this is the standard table for conjunction table, and the one under the conjunction is called disconjunction. So under this, what you are having there is that under the conjunction table, the P, under P you have true, false, false. Then under, at the front you are having Q. Under the Q you have T false, T false. That means if you now want to look at conjunction table now together with P and Q, what you will be having there is that it's like you are using mathematical symbols like plus and minus. So when you are now using plus and minus, it means that when you look at truth and truths under conjunction table, it will give you truth. Also under conjunction table, when you have truth together with false, it gives you false. Under conjunction table, false with truth will give you false. Likewise, false with false will give you false. So when you look at this one logically, it is telling you that permanently, without any utterances or change, it means that truth with truth will give you truth under conjunction table. Why truth with false? That truth here now can be represented as plus, while the false can be represented as minus. So if we now say plus times minus under conjunction, it gives you minus. That F there, don't forget, logically I'm symbolizing the F as minus. Then under conjunction table 2, the false times the truth will also give you what? False. But don't mistake that, please. Under conjunction table, false and false will never turn to plus, just as we have it in mathematical symbol. But under conjunction, false with false will give you false. Take note of that. But under this conjunction, truth with truth will give you truth, while truth with false will give you false. False with truth will give you false, and false with false will also give you false. So when you take note of this, the next one you will be having there is called negation. The negation is the opposite of each of the symbol you have in P and Q, meaning that negation is the opposite of each of them. When you have truth, the negation of truth will be false. When you have truth again, the negation of truth there will be false. When you have false, the negation of false under negation will be what? Truth. When you have false, the negation of false will be truth. That is under negation of P. Then under the negation of Q, which is true, will now turn to false. False turns to truth. Truth turns false, while false turns truth. That is the logic behind negation. Then we have premise and conclusion. A premise is the starting point of a statement, while conclusion is the concluding part of that statement. Example, if you say Funke failed her exams because she did not read. So when you want to look at this holistically, Funke failed, that is the premise. The conclusion aspect is that she failed because she did not read. So Funke failed is the premise. Why? Because she did not read is the concluding aspect of that statement. Then in another sense, you have another one here called tautology and fallacy. Tautology and fallacy. Tautology is a statement that is used to represent truth in the truth value in all possibilities. This means that a statement is said to be tautology if it is true for all logical possibilities. Meaning, if you want to look at tautology table, it means all the final answer in that table would be true, meaning T in all possible outcomes. Why? When you have a fallacy in logic and philosophy, mind you, a fallacy is a statement that is false, that means F, in all possible outcomes. It means all the final statement will be F, meaning false or true. So if you want to prove that a statement is either tautology, it means that all the final answer will be truth, meaning having T or true. While to have a fallacy, it means that all the statement will carry letter F or true. Then To get it clear on the final note, we have another one called argument and validity. An argument is an assertion that a statement called the conclusion follows order of hypothesis, while a valid argument, this is an argument that ends up as a tautology. On the final note, in our philosophy class, you need to know that you as a person or somebody studying philosophy just as a course, not as a discipline. It means that number one, you need to discover your own philosophy. Also, after discovering your philosophy, develop your own philosophy. When you develop your philosophy, introduce your philosophy to others. When you introduce your philosophy to others, you need to market your philosophy. When you now market your philosophy, meaning you need to sell your philosophy and improve on your philosophy. Thank you.